Hey everyone who wants to watch this video. I had posted that I wanted to share my birthing story of my little sweet baby James because it was such an amazing experience, and it went just how I had planned it to be. I came in with a plan, and I was so happy that really everything had turned out how I wanted it to. So kind of wanted to share with you what, the process of it and what made it really a lot easier this time to go natural. I went natural with Scarlett, but it was a lot harder. I didn't really know what I was doing, and so this time I definitely knew what I wanted to do different. So anyways, so I had gotten my membrane stripped on Thursday. Friday I had started contractions, and I thought I was gonna go, and I didn't end up progressing. They stopped at 9 o'clock the next morning. So I was really bummed and really uncomfortable through the weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, he's got to be coming anytime. Then I got him stripped again Monday, and she said, wow, like you're dilated to a 4+, so doing this again, you're most likely going to come tonight. So I was like, okay, great. I want to go. I want to start this. I came home and I started having regular, steady, pretty hard contractions. So I was like, okay, we should probably head to the hospital. So that was about 2 o'clock. We got to the hospital, and I got there and my contractions kind of stopped again, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am having this baby. Like my cervix was softened, I was dilated, so I was like, I am not leaving. And I was walking and walking, and it was kind of, making contractions come, but the minute I stopped walking, they would just go away. And so we talked to my midwife, and she's like, well, we could start you out on a quarter dose of Pitocin, and to just kind of get your contractions going, and we can break your water, and that should get things going really well. So I was like, okay, I'm totally down for that. So at about 4:15-ish, they started me on the Pitocin, and then my midwife came in and she broke my water. So it wasn't until about 4:30 when I started getting some heavy contractions. Before that, I was happy as a clam, like no contractions at all. So it wasn't until about 4:30 when I was like, okay, it's starting now. And so the position that I loved and that I wanted, that I planned on being in throughout my the contractions, was I was on the side of the bed, just a pillow underneath my knees, kind of like I was saying a prayer. And I was just bending, sitting over. My elbows were on the bed. So when I put my music on and had, holding someone's hand, the next thing that I did was I focused on my breathing. That was a really big thing. So I would let my jaw hang loose, and every time a contraction came, I would go and just breathe him out. And I do like kind of J breathing, I think is what they call it. So I would just try and push him out with each breath. And I was doing that so much, I actually started to kind of get all tingly in my hands, and I was like, oh shoot, I hope I don't pass out. But that really helped. So music, making sure my hands were relaxed and holding someone's hand, and the breathing. Those three things were crucial. Crucial to for me to remain sane through all of that, and to help him get into position and help him move down the birthing canal faster, utilizing my breath. I remember during it, Scott was trying to hook up the camera, my phone, and it was disconnecting my music, and I didn't have someone's hand, my music wasn't there, and I was freaking out, and I was like, I need my music, and I I need someone's hand. It was like my way to focus, and I was out of control without my music and without someone's hand there. So anyways, that lasted about an hour of those really consistent contractions. It went from like really horrible pain to like a ripping pain, and I'm guessing that's when transition started. So they checked me once in between this, and I was dilated to a 6, and then it was from there I hit transition, the transitional contractions, because they had no time to check me again. So I was on the side of the bed, and all of a sudden I felt his little head, I felt it drop, and I was like, oh my gosh, he is coming. And my body just started doing like convulsions, like trying to just push him out, and I had no control over it. It was so weird. I didn't have that with Scarlett. I think a lot of it was just the position I was in. So I was like, oh my gosh, he is coming. And so like they're like, are you sure? Like it's only been like an hour, you know? I'm like, oh yeah, he's coming. So they brought in Christy, my midwife, and I got on the bed because I wanted to use the squatting bar. So I got on the bed and you know, got situated, and every time, you know, I just pushed when my body told me to push. It was a weird feeling. It was like the feeling of, I know this is gross, but when your body like wants to throw up, it was like the other way, just wanting to push him out. And it was literally 5 minutes of pushing and he was out. So 5 minutes of pushing, and he was here at 5:38. So about an hour of labor. Crazy. They you know, they brought me back and they laid him on my chest, and I was just so incredibly grateful that it had gone so quick, because when they had checked me when I was at a 6, they were like, gosh, yeah, you only have like about, you know, a couple more hours of this. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I can't do this for another couple hours, because they were every minute, you know, and they were so strong. So it was different than with Scarlett. With Scarlett, it was more, you know, drawn out. And with him, it was so quick. So I was just so grateful that he was here. And I didn't end up tearing or anything. So it was just great. It was perfect. You know, everything that I wanted to do, use my music, make sure I was relaxed. And the breathing, of course, that was a really big player in everything. And even for the pushing part, I didn't want to be holding my breath, because that's what I did with Scarlett. And I think it really, you know, tensed everything up down there. So I made sure that not only was I breathing through each of the contractions, but also utilizing my breath for the pushing stage 2. So yeah, those 3 things were key to making everything go a lot smoother. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful, and you know, it went by so fast, but that's not to say that it was not intense, because oh boy, it was extremely intense. Extremely, I mean, it was painful, yes. But am I glad I went natural? Yes. In the middle of it, was I thinking an epidural sounded nice? Yes. I was like telling my friend, I'm like, can I really do this? I mean, an epidural, like no pain, to have no pain sounded so good in between, you know, with those contractions. But, you know, I was walking that night. I felt so good. I just felt so good after. So going natural, I know, is not for everyone, but those were some of the big things that helped me just make it go fast and to help me stay relaxed. But I love him so much, and ever since he's been here, I've just loved him. just loved him. He's such a good baby. He's so happy. He sleeps well. He nurses good. So I'm just so happy he's here. But anyways, that is my story. So it was great. It was beautiful and everything I had wanted to get out of it. So